Hello Capricorn, welcome to your March forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Great to see everybody, by the way. This reading can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. And let's begin with channeled messages. Today, as I was tuning into your sign, I saw a need to redirect. The way that Spirit conveyed this was pretty creatively. It was through someone kind of throwing a fit near a stop sign. So what I saw was this person almost acting like a 2-year-old trying to push or pull the sign out of the ground. All they really resulted in doing was kind of like pushing it a little bit to the left or right. But meanwhile, they gathered an audience as they were doing all of this, and everyone was looking at this person thinking, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. For those of you that drive out there, you know that if there's a red light or a stop sign, you just have to pause and wait, and you basically honor that limit or that guide. So that's really what Spirit is saying. If someone else says no, you accept the no. And this is especially in like, I don't want to do this, or, this isn't right. You listen to those things in the same way that for those of you that are conveying your limits, you would expect them to follow suit. So if you're having difficulty and someone throws a fit, be calm, take a deep breath, step away, come back and repeat yourself, and repeat until that person sort of gets that you're not going to change your mind. And at a certain point, if they're not listening, just move on to another direction, because that stop sign is also saying that that's a dead end. So energetically, there might be an opportunity to move in a different direction, because there could be a person, there could be an environment, an opportunity where it's just not receptive. So again, just to kind of put this into easy to understand terms, if you say no, others should listen. If they say no, you should listen as well. If something isn't working, don't force it. The stop sign exists, spiritually speaking, for a reason. It's to help you avoid from going somewhere that it's not going to be advantageous or fruitful, and instead explore this direction. Open your mind up to this. Listen to someone else. Focus on the environment and the horizon instead of the one thing that isn't working. And the way that that person handled the no was really telling. I really feel like it's not you, it's someone around you that just can't take no for an answer, has difficulty in receiving advice or management or direction, and it makes it very difficult to be around that kind of energy. So Spirit's allowing you to move in a different direction if you choose to do so, okay? But ends also provide us beginnings. So a dead-end street, it doesn't mean that there's no way out of the cul-de-sac or that there's no way out of the neighborhood. There's other ways, there's other paths. Try something else. And that's the main thing here, is to mix things up just a little bit. The next thing that I saw, pretty unique. I don't think I've seen this either before in my sort of connection with Spirit, but I was shown 3 children. They pointed at the middle one, and basically I could see this sense of that middle child not being feeling like they're part of the group or being seen, which is why I have in the upper corner the 2 of Swords. Now, this, just like the previous card, has a similar message to it, which is there are certain people where no matter how hard you try, it's like the cool kids at school or whatever, you're not going to be able to sit at that table. But where are they now? And does it even matter now? So this is about taking things in stride. If you go on a date, you don't hear back, that's okay. There's a better connection out there. If you apply to a job, you don't hear back. These are forms of protection, and you really want to find a place where things gel. The other thing here is just to do your own thing. We don't need the external validation. And that's what this card is conveying. And when you start to really just sort of do what feels right internally, have a good time, you start to shine, you're going to attract your own group of people that are in that same frequency. So there are subtle forms this month of redirection, and sometimes it can feel a little off-putting, but trust me, it's for the best, and it's helping you find people, places, and opportunities that are not only in the same frequency as you, but really appreciate you for you. And that brings us to the last dream message that I saw, and it was this beautiful magnolia blossom. And this is an ancient symbol on this planet. It actually existed far beyond when there were bees here. So it attracts beetles, and that's actually why the petal is really strong. It doesn't look like other flowering trees. It's specifically designed to get those beetles in there. But anyway, the beetles are the important piece here because they are also connected with death and rebirth. And there's a sweet quality, of course, to magnolias. So what we see is that sweetness follows any sort of bitter or challenging situation. That rising up is really what this month is about, that you're going to end up in a better place than when you started. And if you started great, then the sky's the limit. Really what you want to do is take some time to try some new things, because judgment does not repeat. It's being reborn. The symbol here is basically about rebirth and basically changing the script. So this month, that's the exciting thing. Whenever you reach some of these challenges here, so if there's a dead end, or if you feel like people aren't paying you attention, then it's time for you to say, I'm ready to go down a different path, to try a different group of friends, try a different job, try something that I've never done before, and really just see what I have to offer the world and how I feel about that. So express yourself, explore new things, have some fun, and remember to take time to smell the flowers too, because we have a beautiful flower with this as well. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming forth for the month of March. All right, let's begin with the catalyst. You have to research this card a little bit, and there's a lot of different things to talk about, but here's what I've gathered. First of all, the wolf is a representation or a symbol of this particular process, which was used by alchemists to break down metal and to purify gold. So there is a corrosive quality to this particular catalyst. There is an instinctive quality with the wolf, and then there's a purification or gratification with the gold. Corrosion. Corrosion is a breaking down. It's like tower energy. I believe that the stop sign that I saw in my vision is really about avoiding toxic people, toxic environments, or things that break you down energetically, emotionally, etc. So heed the warning signs, listen to your instincts, and avoid that sort of toxicity or corrosive energy. The instinctive side is really good. It means that you are connecting with your intuition, with your creativity, and with your instincts. Trust in that. Put your energy there. The moon card in tarot has a path right between the wolf and the dog. And basically, as long as you avoid the trappings of what's right there, which sometimes is competition or arguments or emotions, you're going to be all right. And this can represent primal emotions. And I saw that person stomping and trying to change the stomp sign. So avoid that, avoid the corrosive stuff, focus on your power, your instinct. And in doing so, that gold coin or the wheel of fortune wants to come through. Some really beautiful and powerful images coming through with this. I haven't read with that particular card before, but there's a lot in this. Let's go ahead now and take it card by card, starting with your centermost card. And we have the somewhat tricky Seven of Swords. And it kind of, we have a fox here, we have a wolf here. It's very similar energy. So in this one, the fox is one eye open and closed, not quite asleep. This is someone that you want to be mindful of. And what I do like about a Seven of Swords in the reverse state is basically the universe is saying you're nobody's fool. You're going to be able to see through any sort of facades or veneers, and you're just going to call it. You can just say at the get-go, hey, this isn't what we talked about, or I'm not going to do this because it doesn't feel right, and trust in that, and don't get entangled here. Let a sleeping dog lie, is that what it is? So all of those things can kind of be a part of this energy of the Seven of Swords. What you can do to make sure that you're not attracting it is to basically make sure that you are leading with integrity, with honesty, with transparency, and that you call out any of this when you see it. That way people know that it's not acceptable. And even say, this isn't what we talked about, or simply put, no, I'm not going to do it. That's going to save you so much time down the line. Crossing this card, we have the beautiful Page of Pentacles here, and there's a couple things to unpack with this. First of all, the rainbow. For many of you, this is a period where things are starting to change and go in the right direction. Typically, this comes after there's been a storm. So if there's been any challenges or redirections, it's all worth the time and energy that you've invested. There is a timid nature also to this particular animal totem, because deer can just tend to sometimes be a little bit on the skittish side. So when it comes to a new project, a new investment, a new opportunity, this is reminding you to find your courage, be bold, and to push through this. You've got this. Pages are very good at both communicating and also listening. So if you keep your ears open, there may be some new opportunity that's knocking. Sometimes you just have to say what it is that you're looking for people to be able to show up and help you out. So definitely communicate what your needs are. If you're looking for a house, if you're looking for a date, if you're looking for some sort of an opportunity, you never know how close that may be. And finally, when it comes to self-worth and conveying what you're, sort of how you want people to see you, there's also this opportunity to increase confidence, poise, and even just your general way of presenting yourself. So whether that's how you're dressing or how you're even putting together a project presentation or things of that nature, there's a chance to do an upgrade this month. Generally speaking, this can also just be incoming good news, an email, a text, a phone call, where something positive is en route. So we like that, especially after this has happened. Perhaps this is the reward for standing your ground, for calling things out that shouldn't be. You get what you need here, okay? But you have to, by the way, when you are in the presence of the Seven of Swords, you want to use things like facts and figures and agreements and point to those sorts of things. And that's a great way to just kind of shut that energy down so that it doesn't get in the way of progress. I absolutely love this illustration of the Eight of Swords. And that's not something that I say normally because the traditional Eight of Swords, you see a person with blindfolds, feeling trapped, feeling like they can't move forward. This one says, just because something's not in front of you, or you can't see it, or you can't make the move that you want to now, doesn't mean that you won't be able to a few days, few hours, few weeks from now. This is almost like a hanged man sort of energy here, because we have a chrysalis, which is the container that basically a caterpillar builds around itself to transform into the butterfly. What has to happen, of course, first is gestation period. It has to kind of go in there and change up its chemistry. Then it has to break out. So you may be in one of those two energetic shifts. You might be changing your mind, your heart, making that internal shift. And then once you've done that, once you feel solid, then there's basically the breakthrough where you speak up, you raise your hand, or you just take that first step. Then you get to spread your wings. So you may not see it now. Again, it helps to see the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. But this card tells you that's okay, the best is yet to come, and you're in better shape than you think, and everything is aligning you. Just be patient with yourself and trust that inner sort of wake-up call. When you feel the call, then you can make the break out or break through. Nine of Wands, one of the strongest, most perseverant cards that you can get. It's basically saying that no matter what happens, you can face it. You've been through this. You've been through maybe even worse before, and this is a card where you're going to make it to the finish line. Just don't give up. Take care of yourself. Oftentimes what happens with this particular card in the body can be mental fatigue, headaches, sometimes even difficulty in concentrating, or we put ourselves mentally in a place where we're thinking of worse potential outcome. And this is saying, don't go there. Take a deep breath. Take a nap, take a day off, recalibrate, and then see it through to the finish line, okay? But there definitely is a little bit of TLC that you can do for mental health And possibly even like if you've been working so hard that you're getting a migraine or something like that. Caffeine sometimes can exacerbate this, so make sure you're just getting enough rest, okay? In the crowning card, we have a powerful energy here, the Fool in reverse. This is a mental reset. For some of you, there's a little resistance to letting go. If we look at the traditional Fool card here, which is just on the cover of this tin, you can see that the Fool doesn't carry much with him. Just that flower, the satchel, and the dog. So traveling lightly. In this one, we just see the wings, basically, of this little baby chick. So it's a little nervous, kind of like this deer was. Can I do this? Can I make that step? But you can. It's just taking the first step. The mental reset is also about allowing yourself to try something completely different. You don't have to like throw everything out. It's just saying if there's something in your life where it's stuck, don't just flip the script, rewrite it. That part of your life, try something new. And each day constitutes this sort of reset button here, the Fool. So every day you can say, well, I learned a lot yesterday. That didn't work. That didn't work. Why don't I try this? Tomorrow's a new day. I'm not going to carry the burden of X, Y, or Z with me to tomorrow. I'm going to wake up and feel like it's an opportunity. If you can do that, some really, really beautiful energy could come through, but it does require practice. You have a full month. Keep trying it each and every day. Say today's a new day. Whenever you watch this reading, whatever you went through, if it was difficult or if it was great or whatever, that's today. Tomorrow's a whole new ballpark. So just embrace it in that shape or form. Some of you may be moving and it could be surprising. So you might be moving for work because we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through for you. You may be moving because you've outgrown where you're at and you're breaking that sort of cycle. You may be moving because you're moving in with someone. No matter how we look at it though, it's a move for the better. So just like we were talking about a few moments ago, don't be afraid of change. This could reveal something really beautiful, and it's just a matter of taking one step, one day, one thought at a time, and not getting too far ahead of yourself. As we look at the near future, we have a card basically that is asking you, are you in? Are you out? Are you staying? Are you going? And it's a nice connection to what we just talked about with the Fool. So 8 of Cups can help you make or break a cycle. Let's look at the traditional illustration though, because there are some nuances in this one missing from the modern version. So we can see a person stepping away, but there's room for them to come back. In everyday life, this is such a valuable card because it means if there's a major decision, you don't have to say yes or no in the moment. Anything that's really, like there's a lot invested in it, buying a house, agreeing to get married, deciding to get divorced, whatever the big change is, you typically can really sort mind, body, and spirit how you feel about it before you decide to sign on the dotted line. So you can ask for time. You could say, I need 24 hours or I need a week or whatever it is, especially if there's a decision for some of you to move or to sell something really important. Or like I said, for some of you, this could be love or marriage. So before making the big step in any given direction, you think about it, you sleep on it, you really make sure that you feel good about it. You can talk to some other people, see what else is out there. This is also exploring options. This is really important for like accepting a job or buying a house, for instance. So for those sorts of things, you'd want to make sure that you do your research and see the competition. So that's 8 of Cups in addition to making and breaking cycles. With making and breaking cycles, you have a chance to stop something that you don't like if you're sick of it. We can see all the broken glasses on this one. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's saying once and for all, we're done with this. So if you want to start something new, it'll stick. If you want to stop something, that'll stick. And if you're not sure about something, take the time you need. This can also just be an overdue vacation or trip. So all of those messages are for specific groups that are watching. Take which one applies to you. This is fantastic. This card signifies you, and it's one of the highest possible value cards that I could get, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is reversed, but the wheel keeps spinning, and this can be a change in fortune. So if you've had some challenges, that's about to change. Your luck can change. Things can break. Cycles can stop if you want them to. They can continue if you're on a roll. Like I said, this will keep moving. But you have a chance this month to pivot, to explore, to reset expectations and experiences if you want to. Now the wheel in this particular deck is a dream catcher. Dream catchers help you sleep well at night because they help keep away the nightmares. But this is saying it's safe to dream, and it's good to dream, and it's good to go after your dreams, because now more than ever you have a chance to bring one or more of them to fruition. This also reminds me a bit of a spider web, and whether we're looking at the Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, which you also got, any of the magnetic cards, it's basically saying your energy is displaying worth, value, and people want to be a part of it. Don't undervalue yourself, because a reversed Wheel of Fortune sometimes tends to undervalue. Be realistic in expectations. Don't overspend, don't undervalue. Meet in the middle. You know what you're worth, and don't overextend yourself either. It's knowing exactly how much time, how much energy, how much money you have to give, you have to offer, and you feel that you are worth, okay? But it's a good card even when reversed, because there are certain cards in tarot that are just really, really high frequency, and that's one of them. All right, some interesting stuff is going on in the environment. We have the Four of Cups, but right on top of the Four Cups is a rat. So there may be someone in your life that's trying to get into your own headspace a little bit and make you doubt something. Here's your traditional Four of Cups. What happens here sometimes is overthinking things. Rats are really intelligent, so there could be someone around you that just has a way sometimes, especially if you're on an up note, trying to do something great, and they're like, oh, are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you can handle that? Or well, how about this? And they're putting a little bit of salt on things. Don't let that happen, okay? That's a small subsect of people out there, but if that rat is in the environment, you're not going to allow them to distract you, because it's the same energy as this, the Seven of Swords. All right, for everyone else, it's like, well, we're good, it's not that. This is just about you comparing yourself to people in your environment. Friends, family members, other people that you see, maybe even from school, and you're comparing like how far you've come or they've come. And it's basically saying, don't miss a blessing. There's more than meets the eye, and that is a common thread this month. And if we were to take in this traditional card the Three Cups at the bottom and have them disappear, it's just an Ace of Cups. So what does that mean? It means that there's an opportunity ripe for the picking, or right in front of you, or right around you, that won't present itself until you get into the attitude of gratitude, and also until you kind of just dismiss any of this sort of noise that might be around you from other people. Focus on your heart. Take that one cup can just be how you feel, and decide what matters most. If you need to take a break and get some clarity, do that, because that will help you overcome this. That will help you figure out where you stand. And by the way, maybe there is something wonderful right there in front of you. A new love opportunity, new business opportunity, new idea, something that just requires you to take the first step, okay? Don't think yourself into this sort of rabbit hole either. That's going to be important, because as we take a look, there's a lot going on in hope spheres and opportunities. Let's break it down. So the first one is the Four of Wands. Such a great card for partnership. Typically you would see the four wands in four different corners and then a couple underneath it. What we see here is this sort of iris or eye at the center, and it's saying you're going to see potential for something, again, maybe before the people, the opportunity, the whatever it is that you're trying to create materializes. Stay true to your vision and know that if you build it, they will come, whether that's customers, a partner, a friend, an opportunity, whatever. You've got to trust in this vision. And then we just basically have things starting to fall together. The Five of Wands, this is kind of like having to pick up the pieces. Maybe what's missing here is the leadership. The next step up is Six of Wands. So you're going to step away from competition, comparison, and basically even just overthinking things, and lead the way. Possibly partner up with someone if it's a business opportunity, and things could start to get interesting. This is especially true because we have the Lovers card here, and this is your chance here to see a dream come to fruition. Possibly for some of you to connect with someone that you really, really vibe with. This could be a friend, a business partner, or a love interest. Now, the reversal of this card shows a couple of different things. there's a little bit of internal calibration or recalibration that needs to happen on one or both of your parts. So because like energy attracts like energy, what you're really going to focus on is holding space. I mentioned that you may see the potential for partnership before it comes through. You're going to continue to build the foundations like in this traditional Four of Wands so that your energy, your life is inviting. And you do that by just basically getting everything organized. And so that's your finances, your health, your emotional well-being, your physical space, all of these things, your career. So focus on all the things around you, all of the pillars, all of the tenets in your life that basically make up the Four Wands in this card. And then when someone sees that you've got it together, a synchronicity will appear, and we got the Lovers here. So it's just about doing a little bit of internal calibration and recalibration. Now, you can't fake a connection, whether it's a friendship, a business partnership, or love, and the Lovers can be all of those. You either vibe or you don't. And the Five of Wands can sometimes just be, we can see it disparate, not connecting, more work than it should be. All relationships are work, but it should be worth the effort and it should be reciprocated. And if it isn't, that's your wake-up call that this isn't the right connection at this point in time, okay? Especially when it comes to patience and anger management, since I saw a little of that with the little tantrum that was going on with the stop sign. Let's go ahead and take this further. We're going to go deeper into the energies of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to kick it off with health, which is mind, body, and spirit. We have a beautiful card here, and it says, never a crowd on the leading edge. This is why the Four Wands here initially are empty. It's because you're leading the charge. And it's the missing piece here. So this is the Five of Wands. The next one up for the Six of Wands requires you to be on that horse, kind of showing people, let's try this, let's do this. Leadership can be a little bit lonely. So if you are in that position of setting something into motion, it's okay if not everyone's there or not everyone understands. That's what it's like to be a change maker. I love the last caption here where it says, honor those who honor you. This is why when we go way back to my channeled messages, the middle child card, I said that all of it is for the best. You're either going to find people that appreciate you or that don't, and the ones that don't aren't worth convincing otherwise because they just don't get it. There will be many out there that do. Focus on being your authentic self. Focus on loving who you are, living a healthy, happy existence, and remember that that like energy will help you find someone else who's done the same work to align them to their own highest path, okay? Let's look at the cards here. So, what's coming through? Spirit wants you to be really real with yourself. The Seven of Swords can be the promises that we try to make to ourselves, but we're not ready to. So, this card solely depends on the honesty of this card. So making and breaking a cycle. Are you truly ready to change your diet or exercise routine? Are you truly ready to give up some sort of a habit that doesn't serve your highest good? If not, don't make the promise to yourself yet. If you need help, seek the help. But get real and know what your needs are, and that will help it stick. That is when things start to move in the right direction. So that's one thing. Just really being honest with yourself. Is today the day to begin this? And if not, if the procrastination keeps happening, there are so many partnership cards with the Four of Wands and the Lovers that this is also a great time to say, hey, I could use some support. And that will help you out as well. Okay, so enough with that. That's just one thing. The other thing here, like I said earlier, can be a little bit of, for some of you, difficulty in concentrating, but it's not because you can't focus. It's more because you're overworked. And I'm getting like either pain or fatigue or just diminishing returns when it comes to trying to focus. It's not Seven of Cups, it's Nine of Wands. And that's when you've worked your brain too hard. There's a difference. Some of you need a rest or a vacation. So it's time to get that reset that will only happen with recreation, which is close to recreation, which is close to that rebirth energy. So you need a chance to let loose a little bit, to have some fun, to add some levity and some joy in your life. The Fool wants you to laugh a little bit, okay? It's a great, and by the way, see a movie, read a book, hang out with friends, have a date night, do whatever you can to get into that playful, giddy, childlike less serious mode. That's going to help your concentration. That's going to bring you into a better space, okay? Again, this is just a recalibration moment. Things are better than they seem, but you may be putting, you could be putting too much pressure on yourself. Others could be putting too much pressure on you. They could also be trying to convince you. The word gaslight comes to mind with this. This is a pushy card, and this is, like I said, there's a rat on this one. Someone's trying to just change your mind or make you see something or feel something that you don't, and you're just going to put the stop sign down and say, no, that's not what I want to do. All right. Lots of benefits with partnerships, by the way. So ask for help, lean on friends if you need to, etc. So this is typically with the 8 of Swords, it would just be a chance to check in with optometrist or audiologist. Like if you need hearing test or seeing test, or, just like I said, ophthalmologist, go for that if you need to. But what I'm also just seeing is that give yourself time to make the necessary changes, because this card has some different nuances. Overall, it feels like there may be also just a little bit of loneliness that's going on. So ask for, like, if you're typically the one that waits to be asked out by friends or your partner or family, reach out to them this month and just say, hey, it's been a minute. Do you want to go grab coffee? Do you want to hang out this weekend? Do you want to see a movie? Be the initiator for that stuff. It's normal to be lonely and experience stuff sometimes like that, the emotions. So just share that with someone so that you're not carrying the burden alone. Okay, let's move on from health to wealth. This is resources, life, purpose, and career. And guess what, folks? I didn't even see this until now, but we have rest and rejuvenation because I'm pulling so many cards at the beginning. So everything that I just said for your general health will help you with the productivity. And it's because we see it here. I was saying your brain's working too hard. Take a break, have some fun. Trust yourself on that. And in doing so, we get a productive card here, the Page of Pentacles. You could get an idea while you're having fun with friends. You're like, oh my God, I just thought about this. And you'll write it down and you'll do it later. Or while you're taking a vacation and having a good time, all of a sudden you experience something that inspires your work or something different in your life. Have fun, please. Rest up. You'll concentrate better. Even though we're revisiting health and we just came from it, it really will help you. So meditating, talking to a counselor, resting, doing anything that creates joy and fun, it's actually going to help you in your business and productive parts of your life as well. We're going to take a look now at 3 categories: those that are working, those that are seeking work, and then either retirees or students, since they kind of have similar energies there. But we're going to start off first with those that are working. A very bold energy comes through in the crowning position, and it's followed up here with the card that signifies you. And it means that chances, risks, and moves are being rewarded. So this bleeding edge card here that we actually got for health, it's also saying like it's healthy and normal for you to want to change, and you might be the voice of reason that helps other people see that change, which then could be cause for reward and celebration here. So I actually see an upward mobility path by doing something very different and coming across by showing like people a part of your skill set or passion that they never knew you had, okay? So definitely there's a chance to make that change. Some of you just got put in a new position and you're trying to deal with morale or trust issues, and that's a little more challenging, but I do think you're gonna come out on the winning side of that as well. The other thing that I see here is potentially transferring. So if you want to stay in the same company, you could take a transfer to a different office, possibly in a different geography, a different part of the world, and that could be very beneficial financially. You might even like the people there a little bit more. I do get a sense for some of you of boredom or feeling frustrated, but there are a lot of mechanisms to create change this month. I see a lot of hard work. But for some of you, this feeling of not being rewarded the way that you want to be or should be even. So one thing that you want to do is make sure that you get everything in writing. This is a tricky card. This is a tricky card, and this is a tricky card. So if it's in black and white on print, in your performance review or whatever people call it nowadays, it's going to be harder for your boss not to follow through, because I do see a promise that hasn't been kept. if you should be doing something, this is just a wake-up call to get it completed, because there's a lot of good stuff to come in the future. So just push through. But if someone else isn't holding to their end of the bargain, now is the time to have a real heart-to-heart conversation, okay? Contracts. Be very mindful of contracts. Again, if you owe something, you want to deliver. You don't want to mess around with the Seven of Swords. It's going to find its way to the light of day, especially with this in the environment. Someone's sometimes even waiting for a misstep, so just don't give them that. Follow through on your contract. Now, again, when signing it, make sure that you get someone to sort it out and make sure that everything is mutually beneficial. That's the only thing that I would mention here, that someone isn't trying to sweep something under the rug. It could be a little tricky working with friends or family, so feel free to reach out to them for job options and opportunities. But if you're actually working for mom, dad, sister, brother, or your spouse, things could be a little bit trickier there. So be mindful of that. Overall, it's a pretty good spread. We do have some travel cards, and we have a lot of energy around wealth, opportunity, and celebration. By the way, someone could just be jealous of what you're doing here. So just, be mindful of that. Overall, I actually quite like the read for those that are employed. So be bold. The boldness will be appreciated. If you're looking for work, really, again, look at the contracts, and also make sure that if you're working with an agent or a headhunter, are they actually doing what they're saying? There may be someone here who's just got one eye open, one eye closed. They're not doing as much work as they should, okay? Don't lie on your resume, obviously. We want you to speak to all your strengths, but don't overstretch on anything, suffice it to say. We see an opportunity coming in, distance, travel, or something that you might be going back to, applying a second time. This is a card of second chances. You didn't get it the first time, you might get it the second time. I see a good amount of money here. Like I said, don't overvalue. Don't also reach to something that's ridiculous. So when it comes to negotiations, 3 words: know your worth. Don't push too high and don't accept anything less than. As long as you know your worth and you put that on the table, you should be okay. Let's see if there's anything else here. Just reaching out to friends and family for referrals and options and what might be out there, because word of mouth is going to be really valuable in helping you find something. Just a reminder though, you can still land it on your own. You might just have to look at different geographical locations. So if you're willing to move or travel or telework, then there may be even more options open to you. So look in different parts of the world. Let's now shift to those of you that are retired, and then we'll look at students. If you're retired, some of you were really attached to the thing that you used to do, or you may have a difficult time in parting with the money. The Wheel of Fortune in and of itself is pretty good, but the reversal of this is either a fixation on the past or the fact that the money is going in a different direction, depending on how you've invested it. And there may be fear or anxiety over that. So the challenge is just kind of dealing with some of that. Get a handle on your money and how much you need. And then once you're feeling good about that, you can focus on other things. If you just want something in your life that helps you reconnect with that feeling of worth, maybe it's deciding to freelance a little bit or teach or mentor or do something where you're moonlighting a bit and still getting some of that energy without having to exhaust yourself, because after all, that's what retirement is trying to help us alleviate. So find new ways to occupy and connect. And for some of you, it's going to be connecting with groups of people, new friends, new love interests for some of you, and maybe helping people identify areas where they could kind of focus. So a mentorship, friendship, love, all of that's coming through. Travel if you want to, and if you're okay with the money spent on travel, all of those things are definitely jumping to the forefront. And now let's take a look at those of you that are, by the way, it's just some of you are just having a hard time with relaxing, especially if you were used to working really, really hard, and I see that here, okay? For students, trust yourself, trust in your vision. And for many of you, that stop sign that I saw, if you don't like something that you're doing, stop. It could be a class and you decide, I need to just drop this class. It could be a major. I need to change the major. It could be a school that you're being, coerced into. Remember, I said that some people might be pushing you. If you feel coerced into doing something, you push back and say, no, I actually want to do this, not this. It's your life, it's your future. So I know that sometimes we don't have as much of a say when it's our parents and they're saying, well, I'm paying for it, or grandparents or whoever, or it's you're on a scholarship. But all of those things taken out of the equation, it still is going to be something you have to sit with for a while. So trust in yourself. This could also just be self-confidence, a lack of that. It could be the little voice in our head that's trying to convince us that we can't do it or we're not enough or something. So don't let that obscure what is otherwise a really good spread. What I see for some of you is maybe the word internship is coming because we have these travel cards and a money card. Make sure it's a paying internship, by the way. Nowadays, you shouldn't have to do it for free. I had to do internships for free, and that's not worth it. It's so much expense, especially when you're spending 6 or 8 months out of your life. Make sure that you're getting some sort of compensation or stipend for that. It's worth it. You're worth it. I'm a big fan of, I was going to say proponent, not component, a big proponent of travel. When I did one of my undergraduate internships, I went all the way to London for it, and I had a blast because I got to experience different culture, different food, different workforce, different values. And I also realized that I didn't want to do what I was interning for. And that was super valuable too. So sometimes you have to get out of, your pocket and your geographical pocket too, to really sort of see, is this something that I'm going to be happy with in the long run? Let's take a look now at love and relationships. We have a beautiful card coming through here, and it says, embraced by the light, mission uncovered, don't give up. So what a great energy coming through this month when it comes to love and relationships. These relationships can help take you to that next level, can help you accomplish a mission or a dream or a goal, and you're going to be all the better for that. Let's go ahead and break it down. We're going to look at those in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, here's what I see. Honesty. It's at the core of the spread. Be honest with yourself, be honest with your partner, hold them to the same. And if that exists, you're fine. But if it doesn't, that's where the challenges begin and end, honestly, at the end of the day. So something needs to come to the light of day. There could just be fear over being seen or being rejected or whatever. So you want to create a space where it's safe to talk about anything. That safety, that encouragement is what's going to help your partner and help you feel safe in everything. Assuming that that's been done, because some of this is in the past. The other challenges that I see here, for some of you, there could be distance or travel. Long distance relationships, increased travel for work. Also just sometimes being in the same room but not communicating, because we don't have a lot of communication cards here. So there's a need to just be a little bit more outspoken, honest, and transparent with each other. All of those things will help transmute the energy of this. If there's anything toxic going on in the environment, at work, or even in the relationship, that has to also be addressed sooner than later. There could be some really interesting developments this month when it comes to work. One or more might be promoted. There could also be people at two ends of the spectrum. One's doing well, one's having challenges. That's creating the sort of malaise of the Four of Cups. So again, just be there for each other, for better or for worse, right? What I like, though, is the end notes are very positive. Four of Wands is friendship, partnership, and putting in the work, because we got the Five and the Four of Wands. And the Lovers is the payoff for that. Yes, it's some work, but it's worth it in the best of situations. Letting go of the past. I mentioned that the Fool doesn't carry with it a heavy burden. Setting a new thing into motion, a new goal or dream or plan, making some plans together as well. And just showing that you value one another. So it could be a good month, but the only thing that is holding you back or stepping its sort of foot in the way is this energy of the Seven of Swords. You've got to speak the truth. Moving on to those that are looking for love, we have to start in the same space. This is just basically an element of your past and or their past that may be slightly swept under the rug. So don't bury the lead. And that's like a journalistic thing, which is saying get to the point at the beginning. So if there's something that is really important to you or something challenging that's going on, you don't have to start it at the very beginning of the conversation, but it should be a part of that first date somewhere, okay? So maybe this is you're still getting out of a relationship, or something important like you have a child, and that's going to be a component to the whole dating thing. Get it out there. Put the cards on the table. You don't have to be sort of overboard about it, but just put it out there, let them know, and then continue the conversation. And if somebody is sort of hedging around something, you could just say, hey, tell me more about that, or what's going on there. Try to reserve judgment and just hear the whole story. That's going to help foster honesty and transparency. And that's the most important thing, because it feels like fear could hold back the ability to have a clearer or more important conversation on that first date. So try to allow it to come out sooner. The person that you may meet this month, or one or more of the people that you may meet, may not be interested in settling down immediately. The Fool card is the most sort of carefree of all the dating cards. It's sort of saying like maybe it's just a hookup. And if that's not what you're looking for, be honest with yourself and be honest with them. The Eight of Cups is sort of an on again, off again, and it could start as this and then the person wants a little bit more, but they really don't want the full commitment. It looks like many of you want this. You want the Four of Wands. That's marriage. That's moving in. That's the whole ball of wax. And the Lover's card is the cherry on top. So you don't have to accept this if this is what you want, because this could hold you back from this. So this doesn't mean that you have to meet someone and pick out China on the first date. That also is overwhelming. But if you meet someone and you both are in the same energy where it's like, yeah, I'm really tired of dating, but I really feel like we have a vibe. You want to hang out again for drinks, this Friday or something. It's good if they want to make plans and then they want to make plans again. You'll know, like, rather than someone that you text and every other time they come back or something. So in this situation, what we see is someone that's afraid to tell the truth versus someone over here that's really ready. So don't accept this. You're worth more. This is someone who has a hard time saying, I'm not interested, or I don't want what you want, or it's not okay, whatever it is that, is in your past or their past. So just be honest. And at the beginning, if something doesn't fit, it's like a shoe. If a shoe doesn't fit, if you keep wearing it, your foot's going to hurt. This isn't right, but this is. I do see someone much more favorable over here. And what we see here for you, they're not showing the exact sign, and that's okay, because love comes in many shapes and forms. I think there's something unexpected about it. In fact, the fact that we have the Four of Cups over here is indicative of the fact that for some of you, you're being asked to look beyond expectations, keep an open mind, and the universe might have something really beautiful waiting for you. Shifting the focus now to those that are single and happy. It's a great time to be single and happy because we have really beautiful energy coming through with career, personal development, which I didn't even mention earlier, and just growth across the board. So I quite like that. I think this is also a really good month to meet new friends, colleagues, and acquaintances. So put yourself out there. This could just simply be by traveling or you running your random errands, and all of a sudden you meet someone that could open a door for you. So this is a good month, really social month. And again, a lot of progress and developmental energy coming forth. For some of you, there is this feeling of wanting to start something new. And again, it could be for some of you that are just tired of what you've been doing. This is a chance to try some new things, some new extracurricular activities. You might even want to go for training or school, back to school, and I'm all for that as well. So this is a time to just have some fun. That's the last thing that I'll leave you with if you are unattached and not focusing so much on relationships. It's to have some fun and really focus on personal development, okay? And possibly networking or meeting people. It's all good energy this month. Let's move on to Destiny, where you received the Empty Room, space, holding space for something better, which was nicely aligned to this. You're going to see something before it happens, and it also aligns to this. Never a crowd on the leading edge. That means that sometimes you're going to be the one holding space, creating space, setting things in motion. This is basically the card of the creator. And in that emptiness, something beautiful can exist. Many of you who've watched my channel remember that I liked The Neverending Story as a kid. Spoiler alert, there's a moment at the end where the main character and the childlike empress are sitting in the darkness. She has a single grain of sand, and he's like, it's so dark. And she says, it's always dark in the beginning. And so emptiness is a part of the creative process. It gives you the space to fill things up. If everything's all filled up, where's the creativity? Where's the fun? So just like, I think his name was Bastian, just like the kid in that movie, you get to fill things up with dreams. If there's space, it's saying dream bigger, think beyond the beyond, and allow yourself to create something new. Magical, isn't it? Let's go ahead now and move on to the sun, rising, and moon components here. I think the reason that came through for many of you is just the fear if it's not here now, does that mean it's not going to come? One last thing with that, don't be afraid of holding space or not seeing something yet. It's en route. All right, sun, rising, moon. Let's see what's coming through. Sun, rising, and moon. In the sun sign, we have the Page of Wands. It's the second one we got. There's a return on whatever it is that you do here, because this card here, the Page of Pentacles, can indicate basically good news, an offer, money, etc. This is about opening your heart, opening your mind to the possibilities. So if there's something that you feel drawn to do, drawn to say, etc., this is saying this is a month to do it. We almost see them like threading a needle here, even though it's the snake here. So this is about making that first stitch, taking that first step. And in doing so, you create something that's going to last. This is like an infinity. So I like what I see here. Follow through on the idea, follow through on the intention, follow through on the promise, because all of these things, this is like a light bulb, it's in your head. The page is going to take action on that and thread the needle. Some of you may also be a connection between two big decision makers. So, or you could be an advocate for someone. So some of you are like administrative assistants, but you could also be a lawyer. You could also be an agent, and you help this person connect with this person, and they do something really cool together. And so this is showing the value in that. Don't undervalue how important it is to be the connective thread, because that's exactly what you are. And take your idea and bring it to the next level, because that's what this is about. And remember, your dream has the capacity to come to fruition as well. Really cool energy across the board for that. Moving on from sun to rising, you're exactly where you need to be. The star card is you in the spotlight, connecting to your own North Star, connecting to your spiritual common sense and your creativity. And no matter what walk of life you're in, whether you're a teacher or an actor or someone in a corporate environment, the star means that in this moment in time, things are shining in your direction, and it's saying just step into your truth. As long as you are aligned to your truth, you're fine. The only thing that brings you off your path this month is being dishonest with yourself or others. So just be yourself, okay? Really great energy though. Good time for announcements, good time for making a change, good time for stepping into the spotlight. Trust yourself, get out there, do some exciting stuff. Moon sign. You're very much valued for both your wisdom and your ability to communicate things in a way that others can't. Whether or not you like your public speaking skills, other people like what you have to say. It's not about how you basically how eloquent you are. It's more about what value people get out of your advice. And also people are taking cues from your action, because this isn't just communication. It's bold action, the boldest action, because it's the King of Swords. So trust your experience, speak from the heart, speak honestly, because this is one of the most honest cards. Do the right thing. This is connected just as much to justice as justice. So, all of these things. It's a good leadership card, just like the star. There's nothing bad in sun, rising, and moon. It's really positive. And remember what I said at the beginning, you're going to exit this month in a better place than when you started. And I can't think of 3 better cards to show that growth. Expansion of ideas, being in the right place at the right time, a synchronicity, and people wanting to follow your lead. It's exciting. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your final question. This is anything that I haven't yet had a chance to answer, so focus on the question. Let's let the cards reveal the truth, and we'll see what's going on here. Such a beautiful energy to come through. You got the World reversed, but the World nonetheless. So you got two cards. This is the end, this is the beginning. And just like I'd featured Death and Judgment, which are also Death and Rebirth, same sort of things here. Something better is on the horizon for you. There's a little bit of, for many of you, this feeling of, can I do it now? Will I be okay? Am I willing to take that big leap? Because the World is the biggest one. Some of you are at one of those really large graduation points in life. So maybe graduating from college into everyday working world, maybe getting married or divorced, maybe retiring or having a baby, any of those big world moments where you're being reborn into a new role. It can be unexpected, but wow, can it be amazing. So this is a chance for you just to embrace necessary movement, necessary change, and a really big shift. As a yes or no, it's a yes, comma, but you need to release whatever fear, doubt, or uncertainty might be there. As long as you are honest again with yourself and with others, this door is going to open and it's going to stay open. So that's an exciting yes. And yes, we're seeing movement, change, growth, expansion. And for business or personal growth, this is the ultimate card. It can represent publication, distribution, and wide acclaim and attention, even more so than the Star card. So this is a month of big developments, moves, and breakthroughs. Keep me posted in the comments and let me know how it all works out for all of you, because I'm curious. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor. Please like and subscribe. It's 100% free and it helps me know that this made a difference in your life as well. If you'd like to also show some support across different social media platforms, it's always my full name, no numbers, no special characters. And remember, of course, that I do not give any private readings, nor do I use direct messages to reach out to people. That's just a good way to stay smart and stay on top of things. If you'd like to show support, you can do it right here on YouTube through super stickers, super chat, and memberships. All of that is right below the video. So thank you in advance if you chose to do that. And that's everything. Thanks again for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. Wishing you all the best in the month ahead.